be working on the cabin. So let's try and build our house. Get that out of the way. Top line's pretty far off. Hmm. How would I go about fixing this? Okay. Thicker. That should be okay. Need one there, which would be in roughly same proportions. Here. There too. A little lower. It's okay. And that's okay. About there. Okay. That should be all right. Right, the Twitter post. Thought I forgot one. Better discard. All working on the cabin design tonight. Join if you want to chat. Here's some funky tunes. There we go. That line does not actually line up with the house that I'm looking at it. Because it should realistically be like that, which would mean around that length. And the problem with that is now that part doesn't line up, which makes it look funky. Okay. there, huh? Hey, there's Solace. Welcome in. Can't say you've missed too much yet, but how are things going on your side? That's a bit better. Alright, now to make this part actually line up properly. I'd say things are going decently okay. When I was looking at this before, I noticed there was some slight hiccuping for where lines are supposed to be. So just trying to readjust that so far. Does have to come down harsher. Okay. Do. But aside from that, we're alright. How's anime night going so far? So I know that's kind of what Mousie's tackling right now. There we go. Just been a Spy Family season 2. Very nice. Can't say I've actually gotten that far in the show myself yet, but I've been reading up on the manga more, so can't say I'm super surprised by being behind on that. But how are you enjoying it so far? You enjoying the puppy brigade, or are you a little bit more fond of not having Bond around? Since I know he's a good boy, but no, not everyone necessarily cares about the puppers. Line at out there. Okay. Okay, you do love Bond then? That's always good. I'd say the addition of a future sensing pupper was probably one of the better things they could do, just because with the whole shtick with Twilight and Yor being just super powered humans in terms of physical and or mental capabilities, having two actual super powered beings in the family kind of just helps things out a little bit. So Anya's not just feeling completely left out. Granted, do feel a little bit bad about the whole puppy experimentation project with them, but that's fine. They gotta get a superpowered puppy in there somehow. Personally, I like how the superhuman traits are handled. Yeah, they do a decently good job with it. Like, experimenting on dogs for war purposes makes sense. When they actually dive into Anya's backstory to explain what the hell happened there, that'll at least be a good addition. And at the very least, when it comes down to just Yor existing, tends to just help her credibility out a wee bit, just because of the nonsense that she can get into. Uh, oh, I'm on the eraser, that's why. Silly me. Let's see here. I'm gonna need to do this anyways, so... Need a really big canvas for this house. Did not necessarily think about that when I started this, to be honest. There. Yeah, right now we're kind of just building out where everything is supposed to be sitting, really. So nothing super major, but I just need to get this done so when we actually need to draw out detailing and such, it all just fits without having to do any really nasty adjustments to make it work. But so far that hasn't been too rough of a process. And I know that Nano was kind of discussing how the line tool is evil and you shouldn't necessarily be using it, but it's just helpful. Because when doing technical drawings like this, you wouldn't necessarily want to be doing all of this strictly by hand. And then hopefully we can get the house part done within a reasonable amount of time, just because I feel like I should be working on some character designing as well, to be honest. Welcome in, Nano. Hopefully things are going well. Actually, I can probably do this with the stylus. Hopefully things are going well for you so far, Nano. We're just having some fun getting some house designing in, but how are things on your side? Also going to be the filtration tank bit. We'll eat that. Still doing some Magilou stuff. Do have a feeling that the Magilou section is probably going to take you a while, so hopefully speaking that at least goes decently well for you. If only because of the fact that she's a fairly demanding customer when it comes down to it. But it should be well worth it. Especially considering this is for an assignment, so hopefully she at least treats you well for that. Let's see here. I believe this one... Actually, I should go in red. This one would be the actual drainage pipe, so all of the dirty, nasty water is going to go along here. And then just kind of trail against the side of the house and go down. Yeah. I think drainage would actually go there. Oh yeah, worth checking as well, actually. But Solace, did you get through all your sanity potions today? Are you still working on those? Why am I so far away? Not sure what you mean. It's probably just because I'm slouched a little bit, but it's also possible I zoomed out, to be honest with you. There we go. Still trying, about 40 of them left. That's not too bad, at least. Those little ones tend to take a hot minute to actually go away. But they're only like 10 sanity a pot, so as long as you're burning it out on something. I remember seeing your hands while streaming. Sometimes I kind of zoom it out so you can see the hands. I still gotta figure out one of these days so I can actually get like controlled hand movement, just so that way I can actively wave hi at people. Because I feel like that would at least be a relatively nice touch. But haven't quite figured out what system would work best for me yet, so that one's still kind of a work in progress until I can get an accurate hand tracker going. Whether that may be actually working with one of the various hand tracking tools or just the free systems that have been coming out as of late. Um, Actually, that's going to be on the same layer, isn't it? Yeah. Never mind. I mean, I started with a 500 sanity just from the stack after doubling how much sanity I'd burned today. Yeah, makes sense at the very least. Right. And I don't recall if we actually have the system laid out yet, but do we know what the Text Alter event is actually going to be like for us? Like the event itself and not just the banner? Because that's something I just completely absent-mindedly forgot about. There. Line up the house. There. This will act functionally like a drum. There. The special mission that Texas has to do because of the oath she swore? Alright, she needs to escape her mafia life. In Nightcore J-Pump? This is actually my future funk playlist, so basically, it's funky J-pop, if anything, really. Not quite Nightcore, though. I just like having funk on sometimes. Here. It's a bop, it really is. It gets just enough disco in there to keep you moving, but still sounds weeby enough that you can kind of trick your family into not using it. So, I like it. Would be kind of nice if more actual animes used this style of music, but nah, not gonna happen anytime soon. And I think that's actually all of the base sections we need out of the way, isn't it? There would be the solar panel core as well, which I guess I should get on here. But that's not really going to be the hard part. Here. Please don't forget saving. No worries there, Carlos, with your new neon naming. We just started, so we wouldn't be losing much even if we hadn't saved in a bit. But welcome in. Hopefully things are going well. We're just designing the cabin at the moment, but hopefully things are going well on your side. That includes that stuff too. Deck and water filter. How's it look? The neon name? I'm seeing what looks to be a neon piss yellow for your name right now, which I don't really get to see very often, but dude, that's fine. And then you can probably go down there with your buddy. There we go. Say we have a good starting point to work with. Let's see here. This is all going to be the sketch layer pretty much. Just so that way we've got form factors and everything. Thank you for the feedback, even if it is sincerity. Sorry for the lurkin', things went pretty messy. Yeah, no worries there, Carlos. At least when it comes to my streams, that is partially what most of the audience is right now, is just lurking. So I've got no problem with that. So let's see here. Start with the chimney, since that's going to be the more out of the way option. Probably should make it a slightly smaller brush, because we're going to be here for a while making this work. Even smaller? Here. Okay. Okay, it's the weekend, so at least there's that. Very true. The weekend is very important for that sanity gain because God forbid we had to work 7 days a week. I think most of us would go insane. Yeah, try chatting, but I noticed my sleep schedule's not helping very much. Yeah, you gotta make sure to keep an eye on your sleep schedule in this day and age at least. Because that'll be very, very messy if you screw that one up. Oh, also, don't mind this song very much. There is a little bit more excessive moaning than you would expect. And there you go. I'll go to bed soon with the post-COVID and having a job now my head can't handle so much. Makes sense. Makes sense, Carlos. Well, hopefully speaking your job is at least treating you decently well, since I know that work can be a little bit annoying, especially in a semi-post-COVID state now. Yeah. But enjoy your sleep. Hopefully the workday treats you alright. Then this should just be a straight line that goes directly up. Same with this. And then same with this. That one's not straight. Okay, that's better. Then this line is not steep enough. Also, just to explain what I'm doing, I am just trying to get like the base structure of this together first before I start worrying about all the specific lining or all the specific inner workings of this. And then we'll probably be detailing this bit by bit just to make sure all of it can sit together properly. Lurking the Magicazan. Sounds good, Nano. Enjoy your magicking. Work. I think that does not make that very straight, though. I know that's plastic love. Come on. Okay, that's fine. Scared of that. There we go. That's a bit better. Alrighty then, how do we want to detail this? This will be pretty traditional brick laid structure. So it needs to be thick enough. So I'm going to say the initial brick layer will be roughly there. So let's get our lines together. Nope. Here. Then one more here. Okay. These probably shouldn't be perfectly even together now I'm looking at it. Brickwork is a relatively precise art, but it's not that precise. So we can have some fun with it and kind of just add some smaller brick slices in there, just to give it a little bit of variety. That layer is also too thick now I'm looking at it. So let's fix these two to match up with everything else. And there are some lines up there that I'm going to need fixed too, but that's a bit better. Correspondence, these will need to be fixed. That probably should work. This one is a little bit thick, but we can argue that there's going to be some squishage in between here with the top layer, like that. Yeah, that'll work. Do, do, do. Yeah, man, you can do it. Uh, Okay, that is working. Hey there, Kay. Welcome in. Hopefully the evening's running well for you so far. And the chaos goblins that exist within your home haven't been causing too many problems. How are things going? And link to here. There. To here. And then to this line. Okay. Doing good. They vibing. You beating Nier today? Lovely. Now, in terms of actually beating Nier, does that mean you've beat every single ending that you need to beat, or is this more so you finished one of the endings? Since I know Nier has a fairly large question mark behind it in terms of finishing it. Break can. Oh, there it is. Okay, I guess I just had the particles too small. Yes, I had the particles too small. Okay. Noted. The minimum needed for the last ending, about a third of the full game. That's not too bad then. One of these days I realistically should be getting to Nier, if only because of the fact that it seems like a game that would be up my alley anyways. Uh, does the brush getting too big cause problems? Yes, it does. Okay. Of course, that doesn't work. Gotta make brickwork be nasty, of course. But you did get the actual credits. Very nice. Credits is not the easiest thing to actually achieve in that series, so hopefully you get to enjoy your time. Or hopefully you got to, rather, enjoy your time with it. If only because I don't get to hear too many people complimenting it anymore. And I feel like those particle sizes are just too big. Yep. Yeah, it's ending 1 and 2 to get to the actual game, then ending 3 is ending question mark. Well, I mean, that makes sense in terms of how Nier's dialogue and gameplay would want to work, so put that back on. Let's see now, mortar color. What do we want the mortar color to actually be? Come on, Jude, you've got your line layouts already going for you. But there's way more, and after ending 3, you unlock the chapter select, go back and beat things. I did not know that, actually. I thought you just kind of had to run your face against the wall the entire time just to make it work for you. But if it gives you a chapter select, then that at least helps out a little bit with getting the entire alphabet of endings that Nier actually has available to you. At least if I recall right, there's like endings A through Z. Just because there's a good amount of things that they consider a quote-unquote ending, which people may not necessarily hold on to. Yeah, man. Nah, it's about 20 with just the main story. Yeah, side questing is dangerous when it comes to Nier from what people have told me. But I guess that is partially expected with it. Yoko does tend to like his complex storytelling methods. Also, to explain why I was using the line tool before, but am just manually drawing this now, I'm not sure if you've seen a brick wall before, but it's usually not perfectly straight when the mortar is actually peeking out of the edges. So having a little bit of a wave in here is fine with my fidgety fingies. Then trust me, side missions add on easily another 15 hours. Or 15 plus hours. Honestly, I could see the side missions adding on a lot more than just 15, to be completely honest with you. Like, they want to tell... Whoops. They want to tell quite a few stories when it comes down to the Nier universe, considering we've got Nier, Drakengard, and pretty much all of them sitting comfortably together. But he doesn't always get the time to discuss it, considering there's also the mobile game that he had his hand in, which also counts towards the Nier Drakengard universe somehow. I don't quite remember what it's called, but there's a bunch of fairy tale-esque characters in it. So like Little Red Riding Hood, Hansel and Gretel, and yada yada yada. It was a weird mobile game. Pretty sure people still play it now, but I haven't really checked up on that. That was my ribcage cracking. That's not good. And then Nier Reincarnation. I don't think it was called Nier Reincarnation. It was like a side game that they added like Emil to as a guest character. That was about it. That is a Nier mobile gacha. Hmm. I don't recall off the top of my head then which game I'm talking about. I think it had something to do with the name Alice. That's about all I can actively remember from it, to be completely honest. Actually, probably don't need that to peek above. Yeah, that's kind of the problem. It sounds familiar, but you can never... Oh yeah, Sinna Alice, that's it. Thank you. I remember playing that game for a bit. Bunch of buddies of mine tend to check out various gacha games to see what they're all about, but I don't think we stuck around for Sin of Alice for too long. But that one's connected as well, from what I recall. He pretty much just explicitly told people this is part of the Nier universe too. Yeah. And then there's reincarnation on top of it. Yeah. I think when they did a crossover event in Sin of Alice, I think that was the one that they did the crossover with. It's apparently not canon, but things line up still. Oops. Leave it to Yoko Taro to leave people questioning what's going on. Then Brick Edge. Yoko Taro is a god of storytelling. That's not a false statement, but you'd probably get a different type of god depending on who you ask, to be honest with you. Because there are people who would think Yoko's a god of trickery, but there are some who just think that he's a straight up god of telling his stories. I haven't followed them closely enough to really give you my personal opinion on the matter, but I know there's potential splitting in the conversation when it comes down to that one. There we go. And then which one? That one's for the top. Okay. Still got a bit before we get to that. This one also zoops too low. Oh. I'm fine with viewing Yoko Taro as an arcane trickster, if only in terms of his storytelling being a little bit out there. But he does still tell a good story at the end of the day. You just gotta think about it a little bit. I'm not sure if everyone's really up to lately. Go. I was just looking without the thing. Not too bad. At least gonna get our lines out there for it, and then we can screw around with it as need be. Here. This one can just be a full brick. Here. I'd be kind of curious to look into any future titles he actually works on, just because I do feel like he's going to want to link up a lot more in the near future, but also realizing it's a slight pun. Been bashing my head off a brick wall to try to find someone who has the art style I'm looking for to reference sheet and art of my model design. Yeah, finding the right artist is definitely a little bit of a tricky situation because you have to look through options for one thing to see if they can do what you want them to do. C, open availability to see if they even have the opening slots for it, since I know that ends up being one of the hard ones to find lately. If only because most artists tend to be decently busy. It's not always the easiest to find both one that you would want to do your art, as well as one who's actually open and available to do your art. Also, thank you, Kay, for the head pats. Will say that art puts me in a little bit of a focus mode, so I'm not always thinking super clear while I'm getting this done. The price is more the thing I need to look at. Oh, yeah, for sure. Price is going to be a pretty ongoing issue when it comes down to finding an artist, because I think partly because of the VTuber boom, you are going to be finding more artists that are pricing themselves appropriately, which is always good. Let's see here. I'll probably put one here. Just have a little line. Because I know that since I've just been doing most of my art myself for pretty much anything that I've been doing, obviously opportunity cost is really the only thing I need to look into, but looking at other artists that are getting their stuff done, it can be a little, what's the word? Overwhelming? Yeah, admittedly, art is getting expensive now, but it is kind of a luxury product, I believe is the right phrasing for it. So I can't exactly argue against what people are pricing stuff at nowadays. Also, I did get the save check in. I realistically should have something that goes off when I hit Control S just to confirm that it happened. we go. There. Oops. Okay. Yeah, that works for now. Fender Rigger, who has done a few friends models, and she's a really good price for what she sells. 500. 100 certainly not too bad. Let's see here. Complex rigging will feature high mobility, face rigging, anti-trans. Reading, clothing, leg steppies. Anime titty physics is important. It's quite a lot, actually, that they're providing for that cheap of a price, to be honest with you. Not that that's a bad thing, but yeah. There. That's a bit better. And it's not fake. That's the important part. Because at least when you're looking at various riggers out there, there are some that are very much deepfakes that are just trying to get a hold of people's money and run. But if you can confirm that they are a real person and not a scam bot, then that's very important to the integrity of themselves as an artist. They've shown their work on stream. That is definitely a good sign. One can go there. Actually, no, it still doesn't make sense for one to go there. Oops. Having mortar on the edge of bricklayering is not great. Okay. Now we just need to get this way done. I put scan lines out? I did put scan lines out for that part. Nope. It's fine to swoop up a little bit here, but not a ton. There we go. You just need the model made. Yeah. And getting the model made, depending on who you ask, can range anywhere from like 500 to, on the riskier end, I'd want to say 2,500 just for the model itself. And I'm thinking in like USD for that. Shoot. Unfortunately, getting a complex live 2D ready model nowadays is not cheap. Looking at about 14. Yeah. That sounds about right. And this is in regards to the newer design that you were thinking of, right? Not just the current K? The trans fox colors and such? Okay. Then yeah, 1400 makes sense. I know I've got a model in the back that I paid for, which I should realistically look into getting that rigged by someone since I've paid for the model already. But, where is it? Right, it's a PSD file. But I've got my a Dullahan character model made in a half body, which I never really got anyone to rig that because looking at rigging prices even back then would have been ridiculous. But one of these days I should realistically give it a shot just to see, or keep it as a project for myself, maybe to learn Live 2D, since it's going to be complex enough but not disastrous enough that I might be able to do it with a little bit of practice. But that would require still to put a good amount of time into Live 2D to figure out how it all works. I am still drawing in the right layer. Okay. I could introduce you to the person who worked on stuff on my NK, but I'm not sure if Kin would give you the exact art style you're looking for a model. As much as I'd like to give Kin more business, I know it's not like everyone's niche. Also, hey there, Maxie. Thank you for the lurk. Let's see. Thing is, with the new model, I would need to have my second computer hooked up instead of having it all run on one. Yeah, when it comes to those systems, they're definitely not cheating out when it comes down to the amount of resources you need used. They want you to make sure you're paying attention to it at least, and not skimping on anything. A little more. Much of a swoop. I know on my end, the 3D side of things isn't too bad, but I do have, I believe, 32 gigs of RAM installed on my machine. So that could be just an outlier problem. That's fine. This part's going to be messy, isn't it? Because this is all on angles that I need to keep in mind. You have 16. Bricks wouldn't go at that angle? I guess it depends on how you'd want to lay them, but technically they could. To explain my thought process at the very least. You would have your standard brick wall kind of like that in the normal format, and then at least on the diagonal section, you would still technically have bricks that would be laid like that, with some internal supporting structure, but then the ones here would need to be cut to line up with that, which admittedly would make that more of a pain in the ass, but technically speaking, it would work. Because otherwise, we would have to build a structure that would basically just be like Minecraft, where you would need to have brick layer almost in pure geometric formatting, which would not work very well. and then just have it cut in that direction instead. Yeah, and they're built straight up. Like that one side would be flat and then the sides would be angled. Technically, yeah. And then you would just cut them down on the sides instead of having the bigger chunk on the bottom. Hmm. Let's see here. Oh, wrong thing. Because the angle that I have this at currently would not work with that. But how would I fix it? And then it would functionally be like that then. Which would mean I'd need to redo this entire bit. As well as fix the angle on that entire section. Oh, no, I actually just did that part wrong. Because this should come to here. Line up with that. Here. Here. Yeah, and thank you, Kay, for the chimney refs. Does help, but does just mean I need to redo everything. Let's see here. Okay, let's do that again. And then in terms of taking the layer and resizing it, technically yes, but that would create a really obnoxious blur that I don't feel like fixing. So it's just slightly better to do it this way. Yeah, that should be fine. Looking into dual PC streaming, seems I can do it with OBS NDI. More than likely, yeah. I haven't looked too much into dual PC streaming. I think that's more up Solus's array or Jason's at this rate. But I know there are people who like screwing around with the idea. Certainly not the easiest thing to set up just because of how much room it requires, though. Yeah. OBS's internet streamed PC shit, apparently. Totally scary to me because you have so much you could lose. Hmm. Would that mean streaming something over an internet connection? Which, from what I recall, in your period of the world, it's not the easiest thing to actually have. No, just the stream being sent to the other PC to stream. Yeah. There is definitely a lot that you can lose in terms of packaging and such just when it comes to the dual PC setup, but as a bonus, that means that your PCs can actually run everything relatively cleanly, which would at least help out some folks who are worried they're using too many resources to get stuff done. Let's see here. Come on, brain, you can do this. And then this is supposed to follow the same face. There we go. Because your old PC for sure can run VTube and leave the game to run on the actual PC. Well, it certainly helps then, yeah. Gotta make sure you have enough room for your gaming and such. No, don't swoop too hard, Jude. This is still brick we're working with. Here. Probably should get some of this bit done first. My entire PC dropped to 2 FPS just on stream the other day. I don't suppose that would have been during one of the Dead Island 2 streams. I will confirm again that it's a little bit difficult for me to actually catch your streams since they're functionally at 7 o'clock in the morning most of the time. So I haven't really been able to actively check them out as much as I would have liked. Yeah. 3070, the RAM's killer. Void Train. Can't say I know about that one off the top of my head. Playing Bus Sim 21 with Yoiden. Not sure who that is, but Bus Simulator sounds like a relatively calm time. I'm assuming it's similar to the Truck Sim experience and such. I can go there. Oh, a fellow Deep Silver. Okay. Makes sense. Assuming the Deep Silver connection has been helping you out quite a bit lately, since it seems like you've been able to link up with quite a number of people who have a decently similar vibe to you. That's fine. Yeah, I saw that you have the partnership going for you. It's always nice to see when other people are succeeding. Probably should have a more variable brush while I'm doing this, to be honest with you. No, too thin. Yeah, man. Oh, you go up. There. Be the skinny brick that we need there. Here. It'll be interesting to see if I ever do hit the point where I get a partnership with a company or not. If only because I'm not sure what kind of vibe I'd give off that a specific kind of product would want to sponsor the cabin. But I know it's not impossible, just something that'll probably happen in the far future. And what would I go for? I don't know if I'd necessarily have the choice for it, to be honest with you. Like, the food ones seem like the more useful of the options, if only because of the fact that... Why did I not line that up with those? Hold on. And you need to swap. Hmm. Oh, that is right. Here. No, partnership, not sponsor. I think I'm failing to see the difference between the two, K. Because a partner would functionally just be a sponsor that you stick with for a long period of time, right? A sponsor is just, they give you a one-off and then you don't sign an ever churning contract or agree over an email as if it were as simple as that. Cough, cough, Raid Shadow Legends, cough, cough. Not a paid sponsor. Yeah, you're a contracted sponsor at that rate. It seems a bit too tall compared to everything else. Come on, hand, you can do it. Where do I need this? Oh, too tall. Yeah, that makes a good amount of sense at least. You're setting up a long-term decision with a company in order to try and boost sales on their side through endorsement of product for, I'd say a fee, but it kind of just depends on what you end up setting up, right? So these ones would flow diagonally just, oops, because they are being functionally cut. What button am I even hitting? That puts me on E, really. Puts me on B. Those are not helpful buttons to hit. There. Then these guys still go straight up. And then any confusion is just explained by this being cut. And I guess in terms of a partnership, I'm not sure what the best one would even be. It would kind of require me to get to a point where I'm taking this far past being a hobby, and I'm not sure when that would ever realistically be, if only because of the fact that working a full-time job and trying to make this a second full-time job would be a little bit ridiculous, but doable, I suppose. There we go. But I mean, anything's possible in this reality. So I can't really write it off until I confirm that it never happened. Yeah, that's a bit better. Get rid of those nibs. Were not needed. Go here. Although I think when it does come to a potential partnership, you would realistically just need to be careful if you're trying to go after a partnership with a specific game. I know I have seen a guy who seems to functionally have a partnership with Hoyoverse at this rate, considering he's showing up in their ads trying to promote things, but I can't imagine that as being an easy partnership when your contract with them very much relies on the pure success of their game and not necessarily just what you're doing. There we go. That's a bit better to draw. Better. I guess little brick here just to make this one not appear super, super long. Yeah, that's fine. It'll take us a bit to get to the top of that, but it's chimney. They're not supposed to be short. Otherwise, children would get into them, and that would not end super well. Here. Oh, just Webtoons updating about one of the BL webcomics I read. I probably should look into that one again. It's been a hot minute since I've been reading it. And I'd imagine that there's been a little bit of progress in either the relationship or just the troubles that they were experiencing the last time I was reading it. Because I'm not sure if anyone would have read I guess it considered a webtoon, but if anyone's read the webtoon called Castle Swimmer, about mermaid cultures and such, where two princes, one of them's a prince, one of them is discarded royalty. It's an interesting take on a love story, but it very much does rely on the tragedy of escaping their royal heritages, if anything else. But it has... That's not gonna fucking help, Brain. Wonder this is felt off. Hey, the Jake. Welcome in. Hopefully things have been going okay. And thank you for the things. There we go. Just wanted to get that line fixed before I got a drink. Hmm. Here. They have been going well. That's certainly good. Hopefully you're able to just relax this weekend as well, since in Canada at the very least, I know it's a holiday. I'm not 100% certain about the rest of the world so far, but I'd imagine people are just trying to rest up a bit now that we're getting through May and we're gonna be getting into the warm months decently soon. Was playing a game, now I'm just gonna try and start in some homework. Very nice. Always gotta make sure to keep on top of your homework, lest your teachers try and tell you the true meaning of terror. Here. And I do want to redo these lines now that I'm looking at their angles. They're a little bit funky. Yeah. I can't say I've had too many problems with schooling stuff, if only because of the fact that I was at least a decent student throughout most of my life. But I do know, at the very least, that when a teacher tends to jump the shark, I guess is the best way of putting it, it tends to be not fun when you kind of just tell them no. But considering I was also the petty person who, when given an assignment to write something for a writer's class, he only wanted like a page or two at maximum. Uh, you can tell my level of pettiness when I gave him a 50-page novel, or I guess novella in that case. Never got it back. Never saw a grade on it. But I gave him that long of a book. He accepted it. I passed the class. Hmm. The angle on this is just so fucked. So this one feels like it's in the right spot. This one does not. I have to reinstall the GPU that I had and get a new hard drive. Streamer life is never easy, is it? That should be a bit better. Homework I've got to write is an essay that's 800 words that needs to be specific and perfect to pass. That certainly doesn't sound like a good professor then. Well, I can only wish you the best of luck, Jake. I know perfectionist teachers like that tend to not go over super well if you just miss something simple with it, but um, also feels too thick of a layer. as it is. Oh, don't drift down. Oh, okay. And then not the biggest loss, 30 quid. Yeah, 30 quid's certainly nothing to shake a stick at. Still sucks that you have to spend it, but nothing super wrong with a little upgrade like that. Go. This can go away for now. It's not really in line either. I understand why, though. The class is designed for teaching English overseas. Yeah, they definitely want you to be perfectionists when you're putting together teaching plans, which is completely understandable. Even though I've heard it's not as strict doing it nowadays, but you still want to make sure that you're not like shortchanging anything. There we go, that should be fine. Need that line to be straight. There. Because I know I've had a buddy working overseas for the express purpose of teaching English as well, but I'm not sure how long they lasted in it. I lost contact with them as soon as they went over there, so I'm just kind of hoping everything went okay for them. Yeah. And so that you're prepared for any situation. You need to pull a slight Mission Impossible when you're dealing with children in other languages, because they feel like they can get away with anything since the teacher clearly doesn't know the language off the top of their head. It's a second language. Why would they know what we're saying? They could pull out any slur they wanted, and then you wouldn't even have to call them out on it. Oh, here. Yeah, I certainly hope that they're okay as well. I should probably try reaching out to them on Facebook or something similar, if only to see if they're still around. Because I know other events kind of caused either them or their partner to break away from our friend group, which isn't the biggest deal, but it was certainly just weird that it happened the way that it did. Right. Yeah, that's looking about right. And here, look up. There we go. That way, that way. 1 terabyte is 34 pounds. Yeah, actually, 1 terabyte for that cheap isn't too bad. You'll have to make sure you can actually snatch that. Sounds odd that the T would disappear like that. What do you mean, Jake? That, like, the friend disappeared like that? Ow. Come on, shoulders, you can do it. Eh. Cost me about 100 in the past. Sounds about right. We're still not quite at the range where we're getting $1 a gig lately. As nice as it would be to actually get around that. Well, actually, no, $1 a gig would be ridiculous. Because then you'd be paying for 1,024 gigs per terabyte, and then that would be a little bit over the top. Yeah, an autocorrect is definitely not your friend. I can understand that one, Jake. That's why I've purposefully tried to keep autocorrect off, just so that way I can try to get better at not fat thumbing every single thing I try to type. There we go. Save check. I probably should get one of those buttons that everyone else has, just so that way that can be confirmed. But thankfully speaking, the file itself is not giant, so the saves don't take long enough that you'd be able to see me saving anyways. Even though this file itself is physically larger than most canvases I draw on. I guess I just haven't overloaded it yet. Here. Usually I don't have the problem, but my phone has been mean to me lately. Technology being mean, why would it ever do that? Also, thank you, Jake, for the anvil. That should probably squish my spine back into place. I haven't turned that phone on for a while. This is the weekend, I don't necessarily need it. What's the other thing for? Okay, there we go. Streaming on another PC would mean I need to move all of my files that are necessary over. Yeah. Yeah, it would be a lot of work. It's just something you'll have to do, okay, if you want to try and split your resources, right? Too much. Then this part would be vertical, so I don't need to flip-flop the canvas around to get that part in. Mm. Neck is being rude again. Apologies. Kinda need it unless I buy more RAM. Even that's not a solid guarantee. Yeah. RAM is helpful. It's sad that you can't just download it anymore, thanks to the logic of the internet changing, but it is not going to be a cure-all in this day and age. You very much need your GPU to start carrying stuff now to actually help with things. Or the CPU as well. Some systems use both, but kind of just depends on what you're doing. You can take it from an outdated toaster that hasn't updated their systems unless they break, so take whatever I say with a grain of salt, at least. Yeah. This chimney is going to take so long to actually do these lines for. There. Nope. It can be wiggly, but it still has to be straight, Jude. Also, yes, I am still drawing this section, even though there should be a deck that's going to be covering part of it. It's better to just get this part done now before that becomes an issue. Here. Wide. Yeah, the life of Jude, at least, hasn't really been super exciting lately. Work is going to be as dull as need be, since working out in the middle of nowhere tends to not attract many visitors. Aside from the rain today, which kind of prevented me from going out, it's been kind of a chill enough week where I haven't had to really think too much, which isn't inherently a bad thing, but it does kind of create weird stop gaps while we're doing these streams, since I don't really have much of a topic to bring up. Right, aside from any really inane news that pops up, which I don't always pay attention to. If only because if the world's going to end, I'd at least prefer to see that on the news instead of celebrity gossip. Dude. But I do try to pay attention to gaming news, but it's been kind of a dry week lately. Nothing catastrophic has come out aside from Nintendo trying to do something a little bit fucky-wucky, but that's just Nintendo being a little fucky-wucky. That's nothing new. They'll always care about their music being put in YouTube stuff. They'll always be worried about people modding their games publicly. And they very much would care about their games being leaked, too. But that's about as fantastic news as Egyptians build pyramids as tombs, or Abraham Lincoln was shot. Dude. Although we could get into the potential conspiracy theories of the Egyptians building the pyramids for aliens, but that's one I'm not as well versed in, if only because aliens are not a huge concern anymore. I've just got a cabin and an axe. Wouldn't really need to worry about aliens coming down and probing me or anything like that. They wouldn't exactly find much. Now, out of curiosity, would the idea that I have work? Uh, eh. Technically works. What if I duplicate that? Kinda helps. Okay. We'll do that trick a little closer to when we're actually done with this, but good to know that'll actually work. No. There. Although I will say the funky playlist has at least been treating us decently well tonight. Let's see. That would be about 10 o'clock. So I guess I should probably take a break just that way I can stretch out my back and such. I'll leave you with the tunage, but I'll be back in like 5 minutes or so. I just need to stretch and actually take care of myself. Alrighty then. Let's get back into things, shall we? Spent 2 hours trying to line a chimney, so you can tell how quickly this is actually going to go. Thank you, Kay. Hopefully speaking, you're staying hydrated. Oops. And the Rattos aren't causing too many problems for you, at least. Always got the hydration station prepped up. It's always good. You never want to be left wanting when it comes to that department. Good. Well, it's certainly good that those guys are at least fast asleep. I can imagine things can be a bit tiring now that they're all together and having fun in a home. There. Too much. I'm on hand. I also probably need to check on my manga reading as well. I've been trying to keep up with a few series as of late, just because some of those stories at least hit me in a relatively right direction. But what are the ones that I'm usually keeping up on? So I'm a Spider, So What is usually up there, but that one tends to update only every month or so now, which isn't great, because I'd like that story to move a little faster, but not much I can really do about that one. There's the vampire one, which is moving relatively quickly, which is nice. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, though. And then there's a few other isekai adjacent ones, or oddly, romance slash slice of life. Slice of life, not slice of wife. That is a completely different genre that I've been trying to follow. If only because it tends to give a bit more of the happy brain chemicals compared to things like seinen that I used to read a bit more often. There we go. Only thing is their claws are about on the sharp side. Gonna need to get those toenail clippers out for the Rattos then. Definitely don't want them being super sharp nails if you can deal with it. Here. They have their ice cream chew and scratch slab. I think I may need a definition on that one, okay? Like, what? And what does it do? The scratch and sniff at least makes sense. That's a human concept. Hmm. This has been getting a little bit too straight, I think. Although progressively getting up here isn't a bad thing, but I've gotten way too straight. These past few. There we go. It's a scratchable slash chewable, but that's in the shape of an ice cream cone? Okay. I'm assuming it doesn't necessarily give off the scent of an ice cream cone? Or does it do that as well? Okay, so it's not something we can bribe kids with then. Gotcha, gotcha. Oh, right, I still need to actually draw the top half too. Oops. Oh, it's just like a rock? Okay. So it acts as a nail filer then? That's certainly not too bad. Kind of like a scratching post for cats, but for rats instead. Yeah, I'll take a closer look at it later. The constant flipping back and forth does kind of ruin my rhythm a little bit. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Rats are probably going to need to worry about that whole problem they emphasize with Rattata and all them, with their teeth constantly growing to the point where they just kind of fall over or bite themselves so hard that they bleed. Probably go down more and come up. Then you can be smaller. There. They destroyed the donut. Hey, I mean, donuts are pretty good. I can't exactly blame the rat buddies for wrecking it already. Er, I mean, hell, if you kind of place a donut in front of a more human version of me, I'm sure I'd kind of destroy one too. Donuts are just that worth it. Is a fluffy donut that the past guys had, and they've had it for about a week. That sounds about right, to be honest with you. Pets are just destructive little guys, and you gotta be really careful with them. Because some will be incarnates of chaos, some will be angelic little friends. You will never have consistency, though, until you've had a singular pet for a fairly long time. We can just say sloppy brickwork. Here. The boys didn't destroy things, these ones do. But welcome to having a new rat family. They'll be teaching you their ways very quickly, I'm sure. Cute. Don't need to swoop that one as much. Almost done the first half of it at least, which is good. Then we just gotta do the little chunk that's poking out of the roofing. Which, with the overhang that I have planned, yes, that does make sense. Here. Darn, that did misalign all of that. That's a shame. Here. Here. There we go. Alright, couple more rows, and then we can worry about the top half. Stream elements being punctual as usual. Thank you, buddy. Although I guess Stream Elements has been having problems for most people lately. I know on a channel I mod for, they kind of had it take a couple minutes before it actually got the shoutout out, which I'm assuming means something's happening on Stream Elements' end, either an API problem or just they're completely overloaded, which either is realistically true at this day and age. Oh, too high. Although it would be funnier if there was just a hamster stuck in their machine somewhere. I'd love to see a major system or catastrophic failure just because a rodent friend was screwing with all their technology. I'd almost want a Ratatouille-esque situation where even just a rat is taking over a human and they're screwing up everything. It'd be fun. It'd be new. And they'd probably have to rate a lot of company policies as to why you should never bring pets to work anymore. If only to see the nonsense of it all. Head to bed, have a lovely rest of stream. Actually done and have the day free tomorrow, so just gonna study some stuff. Alright, sounds good, okay. Thank you for stopping by, and hopefully you have a fantastic sleep. And we'll talk with you later. Night, night. And to everyone else lurking at the very least, make sure you're staying hydrated. Because I know during May at the very least, things can start getting a little bit drier than they should be. Okay. Ow. Oh, I missed one. Gives our chimney some depth at the very least. Let's see here. Here. Mm, that's okay. Now, out of curiosity, how much if I do... I get rid of all of it. I don't want to get rid of all, though. And buy one more? Yeah, that gets rid of too much. How would I get rid of you? There we go. And then... What happens if I change the color a little bit? Certainly better. Doesn't need to be solid black, but probably doesn't need to be as bright as I had it before either. And I can probably get away with it being darker on this side. Oh, yeah, that's not too bad. We should also be able to do a little bit better with our overlay dotting thing. I feel like there's better ways of actually doing that. Hmm. Because at least when it comes to brickwork, you are usually dealing with you are at least usually dealing with a fairly wide structure when it comes to the brick itself, because they're usually porous and filled with chips and holes and such, which makes it a little bit awkward to get the clearest answer out of just a regular brick anyways. So you'd at least want to make sure that getting your proper money's worth out of each brick. Hmm. What if I just did this on this face? And then went over it with a darker brush. And then you can probably get the darker treatment since you're in the back. Yeah, that works for a chimney. At least in terms of red bricking a chimney. Now would we want to do the top part of the chimney now? Probably wouldn't hurt, realistically. But is it OSHA approved for the holidays? Probably not, no. If Santa's gonna get in here, he's gonna actually have to use magic. Also, welcome in, Omega. Hopefully things are going decently well. Rasterize or combine? Do. Yeah, in other words, suck it in, pretty much. Yeah. Like, it's nice to have Santa around, but when he's endangering the workload of other people, then I can't really condone his actions very well, or very much, rather. That's fine. We do that. Get that done. Cut it at the right angle of the roof. And then this part will be relatively flush, so there we go. Sometimes it's good to work smarter, not harder. All right, let's see here. Duplicate this again. No. No, duplicate. Merge this together. Merge with layer below. And then we can keep that part as the working chimney. Working chim holder. Okay. So there's one step done and out of the way, which is good. Should we do the deck next? Because that would at least be overlaying the chimney, so I'd probably have to get that out of the way. So let's see here. We're gonna need a wood color. Here. Oh, not on that layer. Hmm. That line doesn't work at all. Oh dear, what was I doing with that one? Alright, rewrite. Hmm, well, something's off. Better question, how do I fix it since it's off that much? Uh, Welcome in, Barbados. Do hope things are going well. Oh, Jesus. That is far too steep. I didn't realize the regular Wiggly Jude was still available, actually. I'm going to assume that's still sitting in BTTP. It is still sitting in BTTV. Okay, that makes sense. Why in the world is that set up like that? Okay, we gotta fix something. So this line go away. Yeah, and the old head pat crying emote. I probably should fix the, what is it? I should fix the leaking emote to be that crying thing now. If only because that's at least the newer crying emote that Jason was putting together for us. I think I can show you guys what I'm working on tomorrow. Well, that's always good, Nana. It's always good to see when your homework progress is coming along well. Let's see here. So if this is going to be matching this line, then I should realistically be doing that. Then move that down to be that section. God, my lines were super far off when it came to the deck. Holy crap. Down. Let's see here. There. And here to here. I really want to try something risque. Not sure how class will react to that though. But I do want to put my stuff in with demo reel, so probably not a wise decision. Probably not, no. Not until you actually get to the point where you can at least confirm that you're both drawing manga and drawing hentai at the same time, which I know not everyone is kind of down and ready for confirming that with their friend groups yet. Why does that just not work in my head? It's probably just because of that. I'm not talking about Hent. Don't worry, Nano, don't worry. I getcha, I getcha. It'll be our little secret, I promise you. Also, apologies in advance, I am using the line tool to hell and back. It is just needed when it comes to architecture stuff to make sure that you're actually going in the right direction. Although that just feels like it's sticking out too far. Hmm. Clean this part out first. We'll fix the side deck in a moment. Haven't seen it done before? Or you've seen it done before? Well, getting some booba physics out of the way is at least important, so always make sure to keep it in mind as an option. Yep, apply. Hmm. Let's put you there for now. Then move you down. Oh, it got thicker. That doesn't help. It got thicker and didn't actually follow the line, which is great. Oh, you haven't done it before? Really? I've seen turned into... I haven't? That links up to there. Hold on. Realistically speaking, if I just flip it, it should still line up to this. Hmm. But it doesn't. Oh boy, my math is super on point tonight. Okay. Delete layer. You can go away. I need to fix this. All right, let's see here. So, in order to actually build this section of the deck, God, all of my lines are actually off. Your house has that? Yeah, there's a deck on the house. Uh, you've got the door here, and then the deck itself is just drawn as a part of the first floor, but it would technically be outside here on the second floor as well. That does line up with that part, at the very least. Is it called a balcony? I believe a balcony would be a better term for it, yeah. You're not wrong there, Nano. Hmm. And that's what I'm dealing with, huh? Oh, that's not what I want to do. Chimney. Okay. I'm not even a native speaker, Jude. I mean, I'm also a robot. I don't have dictionary.com just built into me. Sako finally broke and is playing Overwatch. Well, I figured Sako wouldn't be able to do the drawing stuff forever, but it was at least nice to see them try for as long as they could. And Sako Degen stream. I'm not sure if you'd even call it really a Degen stream at the end of the day. Because, like, it's just Sako trying to... What happened there? Sako just trying to entertain the audience, right? If that requires being a little bit salty in a Blizzard run game, then that does still work for her. Oh boy, that's not gonna work. Why does that just look wrong? Because of that. A little turn is fine. Okay. Any AAA game is degen? Not sure if any AAA game necessarily counts as degen. Because I feel like if you call Mario degen, you're probably going to have a lot of very, very angry people kind of calling you out. Okay. That just looks super weird. Why? Rain, I thought we all had this working, buddy. Oh. Well, that's certainly not helpful. Please don't cut myself like that. There we go. All game is degen except for Touhou. I mean, Touhou games can be pretty degen too, Nano. Do keep that in mind. The entire Touhou audience is not free from the degen. It just looks like it's not straight at all. Weird. When we're out of liquor on the deck, you want to get a few Soku sets in? When we're out of liquor on the deck. What do you mean out of liquor on the deck? Oh. I'm just trying to figure out why it's breaking as hard as it is right now. Because that line definitely doesn't line up with anything. I'm not sure what I'm smoking right now to make that not work. Hmm. And then it just looks thicker on that side. Rain, please. Why does this look so bad? I'd probably need this line to match up with this, because those are super far off. And that's not helping this case. And then this line is presumably matched with this line. Hmm. Who drinks liquid nitro? I don't drink liquid nitrogen, Omega. I'm just condensing liquid nitrogen. It's made within my body, so it's less drinking and more just crafting. Hmm. I had this working before too. Why is my perspective trick not working? Um, hmm. So that lines up with that. That part is the goal. Stupid thing. Yeah, like to try that out. Am I gonna need to hook me up? It might be dry ice they have now that I think about it, maybe both. In either case, they put it in the top of shots to make the mist and cloud up the air in the glass. Sounds about right, to be honest with you. You go away. Let's see here. Can I fix this? I'm getting mildly annoyed that I just can't get a balcony to work. That also isn't helping, admittedly. Does that line up with the roof's line? No. Hmm. Notably, some girl once drank it too fast and her stomach basically shattered, I'm assuming is the right word for that. And yeah, usually speaking, liquid nitrogen is more so used in scientific experimentation, not necessarily the breaking of humanity. We'll get to the breaking of humanity eventually, but that's going to be a very big want. Also, I think I'm realizing where the problem might be. You don't line up the house at all, do you? And that's partly what's creating this problem line. So that part would line up with the house. But then does not with that roof. God, I have completely fucked my template up super hard. That's not good. Hmm. Let's see. If I'm following the line of the house, it would look like that, which that looks so far off. I think I'm stretching the canvas a little bit too hard because if we would look at it from a rounded angle, we would almost have it as like that range, which is why it's breaking so hard. Hmm. Shattering might have been more comfortable. Remember when stuff hits something warm quickly, it expands? Oh. Okay. Yeah, admittedly, a human stomach would make that a little bit weird to stay cold. Oh. Okay, where's the deck preview? I think I need to get rid of that now because that does not worm in the form factor of the house. Neither does the roof. And then we'll probably have to screw around with... Why is that just so far off from there? Eesh. Also, I got the 40k crit damage achievement on Seal today as a free-to-play. Well, that's pretty good. I feel like it'll be a little bit easier to free-to-play in terms of... achievements based on... Achievements based on calculations will not be quite as bad. Okay, yeah, this guide is actually a little bit bad now. Only part of it that's actually helpful is the bottom half of the black part of the house. Oh. There. And that will be roughly where the roof is. So having the chimney drawn first is actually a problem, because now I have to figure out where the house itself is going to sit. Eh. Well, you can come back, if only so that way I can start that. Because I will at least need this line. To get the box of our house. And I guess we're going to have to freehand it from there. Duplicate. Okay. brush for some reason. There. There. I will say that I haven't gotten super far into Star Rail yet. I keep meaning to play it, but then mood will not necessarily let me get into it, if that makes sense. But I'm hoping one of these days I can actually get interested enough in putting some time into it. That part will need a bit of adjustment. Okay. Just curious, are you making the cabin for artists to reference after, or is this just part of something bigger? I'm just making the cabin because I felt like making the cabin, to be completely honest with you. Because I've wanted to make sure that there's a design philosophy for the home. And it's not always the easiest thing to really have that available. Let's see here. This one should be our bottom line. This will be the line for the deck. So that way I've actually got it. I was trying to draw it with a little bit too much of a perspective tool, so I think I should just go back to doing this. Merge with layer below. Get rid of that. Duplicate. Okay. Then we can get rid of this line. And get rid of that line. As well as getting rid of that. Merge down. We can get rid of the majority of that. Duplicate. Line that up with there. Then get rid of that. Get rid of all that. And then we just need that line. So, merge with below. Duplicate. Oh, don't delete. Duplicate. No. Oops, we still got a lot of artifacts left over. Noted. So, Here. We can get rid of all that. And then get rid of that. I need to work on my perspective work again, apparently, but aside from that, we should be okay. Merge with layer below. Then in terms of the balcony itself, pull this out a little more. Merge with layer below. Get rid of this inner bit. And then I don't think we'd need to pull this half out as hard, but oh. That should work. Here. Smaller brush, please. Would realistically be a fun idea in the future to maybe try and build this in another system, but I'm not quite sure when I would be able to get that working. There we go. And you come down for a corner. You come down for a corner. Then merge down. When are you going to engineer your evil castle in Minecraft? I guess that kind of just depends on when I can get to it, really. Because I just don't always have the idea about how I'm supposed to craft the evil castle. Like, it exists, and I'm aware of that part at least, but don't have a very good idea about how I want to do it, if that makes sense. Also, hi Persona 4 Funk Mix. Always got to appreciate those. With or without you. Okay, that makes sense. What layer is that on? There we go. Looks a little bit more uniform. I can't believe I screwed that part up that hard. I guess that's what happens when you try to just do a perspective tooling without actually having the best perspective tools to work with. see here. Just shove all you guys in their own group. Yeah, you can go away. Just to make sure that I can actually keep all of you together. Then what else are we gonna have to do? Gonna have to get the posts in, which the posts should not be the hard part, realistically. Environmental artists are really a rare breed. They are. Environmental art is hard. And not everyone realistically wants to go into it. Because playing with the perspective of the human eyeball sucks. Oh. Boy. I think neck fell into a really weird spot. Gonna have to pull out the big wrench for that later. Eh. Let's see here. And trust me, Nano, that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to screw with my neck for the past few minutes now, trying to get that to work. But thank you for the pampering package. Also, Omega, if you are still around, if you do want to do those Soku sets, now is probably the time. I'd want to mull over this again on my own time, just to make sure that I'm doing this right. And in order to mull over this properly, I would want to swear a little bit. And I don't really want to do that right now. Dude, I have Monday off anyway, so I have a little bit more free time this weekend to at least screw around a little. Ow. Let's see here. What can we work on just while I'm waiting on a reply? I would need the posts, which would be best to do with this. Then here. Then merge down, merge down. Ooh, I did not like that very much. Invert. Expand. Expand. There. Yeah, I'm gonna have to screw around with this a bit just to make sure everything lines up. I didn't realize I would have fucked the perspective that hard when I did it the first time, to be completely honest with you. But that's fine. I'll fix it off stream, and then next week we can actually get back to that. I will say again, I am far from a professional artist, especially an environmental one. So it's just something we have to experiment with to make it work. One of these days I may try this again to get a bit more of a environmental or perspective look on it, but just drawing it out flat for now should probably be alright. And then I'll have to look into some examples in order to actually figure out how I'm supposed to do building perspective correctly without warping things super hard. Because I warped things a little bit too hard there and it just screwed up a lot. Dude. Hisoten Soku. Alrighty, let's see here. Oh, there are a couple people playing tonight. Who? Mega Pulse. Including someone I believe in Germany. That's always a good touch. Also liking the no beginners either. That's always a good touch. Thought I had time for you to get warmed up. Nope. Sorry, Omega. I'm very quick with my hands if I want to put it in the worst way possible. But let me know when you're ready. I'll just do some computer finagling for now. Nope. Nope. I gotta do better with that. Oh, damn, I actually got through first. Nope. Nope. Please don't let Marissa corner trap you. Oh boy. Nope. Ah, fuck. Damn it, the friggin' slide. Okay. I'll be ready to go now whenever you're comfy. Had your hands on some hasty potion making. Well, you always gotta make sure to have some potions ready at the very least. Oh, that does actually do something fun. Oh. Here. Nope. Gotta have some range for that one. Oh god. Please don't fuck this up, Jude. It's just a computer. Nope. Also, nope. Surprised those don't flow as quickly as I figured they would. There we go. The computers don't necessarily enjoy that 4-hit combo, which is at least helpful for me. Ah, darn, she jumped right above the uppercut. Nope, nope. Dude about to face Omega with the Toho Potion buff. There we go. Here. Nope. Ow! Fucking Marissa and Hull hurt. Ow. That's just insulting. Nope. Here. Nope. There we go. Knocked her out with some money. I'm gonna be obligated to play Moko tonight since I finally put up that life-sized poster that I've been hiding. Life-sized poster of Moko? Why do you have that? I'm not gonna fully question it, but how did you have that, rather? The 6-foot-tall poster. Huh. Seems a bit much, but I'm assuming it's the one character you like, so... There's a huge sale on Redbubble. Certainly not too bad. Let's see if I can do anything with Coma, then. Ow. Damn it. Okay. Nope. And that's mildly insulting. I do kind of wish that that uppercut actually hit farther than what I was hoping. Up. I also realized I never actually made a deck for Coma, so that's not good. Also, do you have some form of input lag? You seem to be reacting significantly slower than you normally do. Oh, the game just froze. That's a good sign. How are things on your side, Omega? 'Cause it's... Yeah, that's weird. I guess let's try again? Maybe we can't do sets tonight? Or we may not be able to do sets tonight? I guess let's just see what happens, because I don't think we've had a game that laggy before. Damn it. Oh well, at least the souls hit you too. Okay. Nope. Apparently I cannot block in the air, I'm realizing. Or that kick itself is just that rude and does not let me do so. Nope. Nope. And really, that had enough to get me locked into that. Okay. Oh, that's not what I was going for at all. Okay, thanks, teleport. Shoot. Oh, you can't hit me up there. Okay, good to know. Nope. Nope. You know, I was dashing there, game. Nope. Yep, that'll do it. Still gotta figure out ways of dealing with Moko. I know you got set up there, but you weren't using your healing thing as much, so I clearly wasn't getting my combos off enough. Okay. If I can't get my basics off quicker than your specials, that's kind of a problem. Oh. Nope. Nope. Fuck. That... How the fuck did that hit me? And how did that hit double tap there? Oh. Okay, why can I not use my card? I will be honest, I was trying to use my card out of the 3-hit combo just so I could finish you off. I have no idea why it wasn't actually triggering. Okay. And how does that hit me in the air like that? Okay. Okay. Nope. Nope. Let go of my dash too early. Nope, not what I was trying to do. No. Nope. Nope. And that hit me that high up. Okay. Okay. Don't get salty about it, Jude. Oh. Nope. Nope. Okay. I will say I do get very annoyed by that kick. That has a much bigger hitbox than I feel like it should. Okay. Yeah. You probably have too many card upgrades by now for me to do anything to. Okay. And that did not hit in the range it's supposed to either. Okay. I'm trying, Omega, I swear. Do really need to make a deck for Coma, though. She has to have cards that would help. And that should hit at that. Ugh. Nope. So I can hit you before you turn into the fireball with the healing move, which is at least good to know. There we go. Fucking Christ, down to the wire with that one. Yeah, that one was fairly close. Just for a rough history lesson, Nano, I always have problems with fighting Omega when they use Moko, if only because of the fact that I hate their entire moveset. The fact that they have a heal is already a pain enough as is, but the fact that they're invincible during the entire thing, except during the initial section, is annoying no matter what character I'm playing. Oh. Nope. Nope. Should have gone down coins there. Nope. Nope. Just trying to block that. Oh. Okay. No. Let's try switching whatever the default deck is, because I'm noticing there's not many tools in there for Coma. See what that one's on. Nope. Nope. Okay. Okay. Default deck 2 doesn't seem to have much in terms of tools either. Okay. And there's a punish for that too. Wait, what? The explosion on that is actually high enough for that? Yep. Can't hit anything for the life of me. Okay. And that comes out faster than the hook, huh? Okay. One more round, probably, considering we're close to end time. Okay. Thank you, Block. That was super helpful. Hey, other Holger. Welcome in. You're coming in pretty much right at the end, so don't be super surprised. Okay. Can I please just hit Omega? I had a relatively good round one. I would like to see if I can at least end this. But none of my blocks are going through that I need them to. Okay, that's embarrassing. That means I'm going to have to fight a nearly fully powered Moko with no kit at all. And where my inputs are not liking me very much. Please. Nope. and I'm dead. Because for some reason I can never block that corner trap, and I really don't fucking understand why. It's just the basic attack, too. I don't know why I can never guard it. I think out of our entire game so far tonight, I've blocked it once, but every other time you've been able to get it through. And it shouldn't, because that's hitting mid, I'm blocking mid. I don't know what the fuck it's doing. Either way, that's all the juice I've got. Art failed, tried doing Toho. Who can we raid? I mean, you rolled dice, but you still won, Omega. Your options are just better than Komaichi's base options. And since none of her default decks seem to be built with upgrading her stats at all, and they're just her supers or those potions, then I had not much to work with. Especially considering that boat charge does not do much. And apparently I have to learn Coma as well. Because by now, with fighting you constantly against Moko, I should be able to take more rounds than one in an hour or half-hour set. Aside from that, though, I don't really feel like raiding anyone. So, hopefully you all have a fantastic night. I'll talk with you later, but for now, enjoy.